every year around March or April, a new Hearthstone expansion will come around, which means you'll finally get out of whatever garbage meta the last expansion brought you. Right before this time, you can waste thousands of your gold and dust. Here's how you can avoid losing that dust and make some dust along the way. During a new year in Hearthstone, sets are rotated in and out of the standard game mode. Looking at this year, cards from the expansions featured in the Year of the Phoenix, like the Ashes of Outlands expansion, are going to be rotated out, while the cards released in the Year of the Griffin expansions, like the Forged in the Barrens expansion, are going to be staying in standard. Basically, the expansions which were released 2 years ago will leave, but the expansions released 1 year ago will stay. This also means a whole new set of cards are going to be rotated into the game, which you need to save some dust for. Now, why should you care about this? Well, if you're like me and you only play standard, this rotation of cards means that every card released 2 years ago will effectively be useless to you when the new year comes. Any cards you open from these packs will be unplayable when the new year comes. So be very mindful about which cards you craft, because if you're close to March or April, there's a chance the card won't be useful in a few months. And if you really want to play a deck, then go for it, craft a card. But just stop flexing on us poor people. That's why I always suggest buying the latest expansions packs. These cards will be the most useful for the most amount of time. Of course, if your collection is mostly full and you want specific legendaries, it's a different story. But as a base rule to follow, the latest expansions packs are usually the best. So, what should you do about this impending doom of your precious collection? Well, I've got 3 options that will help you, and I'll let you decide which one works best for you and how you want to play Hearthstone. First, we'll go over what you should do if you're a free-to-play player like me. If you only play standard, then you might as well disenchant all of those cards from the expansions that rotated out. I mean, when's the last time you heard someone talk about Stone Skin Gargoyle? I had to look that card up, I forgot it existed too! It kind of mimics real life. If you're not going to read that self-help book you've been telling yourself you're going to read for the last 3 years, then why do you have it? Especially as a free-to-play player, you need all the dust you can if you want to have the most fun with this game. So why not disenchant 3 expansions worth of cards? Well, I'll tell you, because I don't even follow my own advice. Maybe I have attachment issues, but I don't disenchant any of my cards that aren't duplicates. Side note, type extra in the card search menu to see all the cards you have extra of. I just like using any stupid card whenever I can. I know I only play standard, but like, what if I need the old cards, man? Sometimes I like looking back on my collection, then reminiscing on the good old days with Snow Flipper Penguin. It's a collection, don't be afraid to show off your virginity to the world. I know I'm definitely sacrificing some current fun by not disenchanting the cards I don't use, but like, I might use them. TAVERN BRAWLS might allow you to use them. Duels exist and they use a lot of older cards too. The single player campaigns also allow you to use any card you want. The old cards are definitely subject to power creep, but some cards are just special. But there is a good reason to keep all of your cards even if you are free to play, and that of course is if you're playing classic or wild game modes. The wild game mode uses every card that ever existed, and the classic game mode uses just the old ones. So if you're interested in playing these game modes, then keep your cards too. The need to know information is, be careful around March because a new Hearthstone year is coming, which means a new set rotation is coming with it. So if you're going to be crafting cards, be very selective on what cards you craft because they might not be playable in standard by April. If you play wild, first of all, I'm sorry, and second, you don't need to worry about any of this. And if you want, just disenchant all the cards that rotated out of standard if you don't plan on using them. You might even have cards you're not using right now from past expansions that you can disenchant for free dust. Let me know in the comments if you're like me and you can't get rid of the old cards though. I don't want to be the only one, please. If you want to know more ways to get gold and dust in Hearthstone, then you should subscribe and check out this video right here where I go over some more tips. And if you want to support me get more videos out faster and some perks along the way, check out my Patreon. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you around.